Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. As the first split of challenges in EMEA is starting to wrap up, I felt it was no better time to bring out another set of interviews. I'm of course here with MAGiK, current winner and title holder in France. How you doing, mate? Take some time to introduce yourself.
Really good, thank you. I'm MAGiK. I'm the controller, kind of a flex now for Joblife. Like you just said, one split one. Hoping to win split two.
That's what we like to hear. So I am here with the president of the Netherlands, of course. I have to ask, are you the best Dutch player at the moment? I had Robbie on the channel many months ago now when he was back on VTZ heading in. Can you carry that title, or is it with your teammate or someone else perhaps?
You know, this is actually a joke inside the team. Every few days, me and him would go back and forth. Like he'll destroy like a scrim. You know, I'm like, oh wow, you're the best Dutch player in the Netherlands, bro. Like we just go back and forth. Kind of like an inside joke at this point. But if I give it to someone, I like to divide it up. If I would say like IGL knowledge, I would give it to Robbie. And pure mechanical skill, I'll just give it to Hero.
Okay. So that's the straight up answer, right? It's one or the other. You say Dutch IGLs, I'm thinking of Athan perhaps. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway.
That guy is crazy.
You have plenty of experience playing in the UK though, right? To just break it down, you're a Dutch player living in Germany, if I'm not mistaken, who currently competes in France but has roots in the UK scene. Having been in so many different regions, how did that really come about? How are you so well traveled in Valorant?
Honestly, I think it's because how I started the game. I started right in beta, I started playing. And honestly, I think the UK scene was the easiest to get into, like just by playing and then using Twitter and stuff. It was just easy to get to know people. And that's kind of how I got into the UK scene. I don't even remember fully how I met everyone. But I think I got a trial through Lear for MAGiK, because I trialed him for one team I was playing with. I think that's how it worked. And then I went to MAGiK, and in MAGiK became Vexed, and that's where I started.
I mean, in terms of your esports origin story, you started out in Fortnite, if I'm correct in thinking, right? Like, what was it starting out in that scene and then making the jump over to Valorant in the first place? Where did you first hear about it?
I mean, before that, I was playing lots of games, CS, like CS:GO, among others. Made the switch to Fortnite because it was just fun. Unlike other pros like Benji, Martin, I was shit at the game. So I felt no reason for staying. My passion for the game had kind of gone with the issues. The people who played Fortnite knew like the competitive issues there were, the servers, the negligence. Like the scene has been neglected, the pro scene. So I was like, I'll just do something that I enjoy doing. And then Project A got announced. And I was like, hey, that looks interesting. It's like a better CSGO in my opinion, so let's just hop on that.
Well, I guess to ask then, what aspects of it do you prefer over CS then, having played both? What do you prefer about this game?
I guess the one thing I like from Fortnite is you would play 2 months, and then one day before a tournament, they would change a whole aspect of the game, and you were playing a new game. And I think I liked it about Valorant too. It's constantly evolving, constantly changing. You could be the best player in the world one year, and then 2 months later, after the off season, you're washed. Demon 1. So there's loads of different things that constantly need you to evolve to keep up with the level.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing a few ideas here already. What would you say has changed the most since when you started playing first in a team environment more than just like the game generally?
Team environment, I guess the need to be flexible. Back when the game started, there wasn't much creativity. It was mostly the same kind of comps all over. Everyone kind of stayed on their comfort roles. It was way more aim mechanical orientated. And lately, you've been getting crazy comps, crazy cooks, and you can see a lot more theoretical parts of it. I guess you could say Vision Strikers were the pioneers of that game style, and FPX, I guess. And that kind of kept evolving to this day.
Yeah, and to talk a little bit about where you started out as well with the UK scene. You've been to 4 UK lands as a player who isn't from the UK. I remember, yeah, you were on MAGiK, Vexed for a bit. That was the story of 2021 for you. What was it like as what I would assume is your first experience at a LAN event?
Was fun, obviously. Enjoyed myself. winning felt even better. Yeah, just honestly great experience, fun. Feels good to do it on a LAN. It feels a lot different doing it at home than doing it at LAN. Um, I think even winning Epic LAN, like one of my first LANs, might have felt greater, like in the moment, than winning a split one in France, purely because in the atmosphere, you know, you got the people watching, you're there with your teammates, you know. So yeah.
Mm. I mean, you jokingly said in a post that it was the foreigner that was the best player at the UK LAN. So, what's your opinions on the current state of the scene, or maybe any names that you've got your eye on developing through, or if there is still quite a way to go?
In Polaris right now?
Polaris, UK Tier 3, any of that stuff, you know, the places that you've been where you were starting out.
Uh, I guess this I'm seeing this name Drog. I think he's an Irish player.
Yeah.
I've seen his name come up quite a few times. Also watching the finals, I think I don't know who it was. It was either Creamy or Famzam who's doing like insane sheriffs and 4Ks, whatever. It was one of the two. I remember one round on Split. He had an insane round. Um, Fun to watch. I think Polaris is especially really young right now. I think might be one of the youngest VCLs in the whole world at this point. Um, you can see that in the gameplay, I guess. It's a bit more fresher, but it's fun to watch in my opinion. It's
Yeah.
you can see the young players giving an opportunity to show themselves, which is really exciting.
Yeah, I mean, you were around quite a few young players last year as well, and one of the names that you already mentioned, Hero, along with Savaya being that like Dutch core in a Benelux league that you had previous. What do you think is most important for names like that to be developing the skills that are necessary to then go on and win championships and things of the sort to actually progress as a player, which I think the UK is somewhat lacking at times. You've got these names, but maybe not the support network that they need. What's most key in terms of components there to actually help set that up?
I feel like for players especially, I think guidance is one of the most important things. I think like Polaris, you have lots of young talent wanting to perform and wanting to grow, but you lack the people who guide them, who show them how it's supposed to be done. I would say Foxy has been a really good friend, but a really good leader, and just teaching us how to play the game. I think Hero has evolved a lot from when we first played with him. He was just a dumb ranked kid with insane mechanical skill. Every scrim, we would get one kill in the first 20 seconds round. He would just run in and die and would lose the round. And everyone would mold. And then by the end of split 2, he's really evolved into something. And now in the Turkish scene, he's even doing better. His guidance is the main thing. Someone older, someone experienced, showing you how it's done.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at that wild team from last year that eventually lost to Ascension winners, Gentlemates, with more time, do you think that maybe you had reached the peaks, the limits of your success, or that potentially there was more to be done with the roster that you had? Because, speaking with conversations to people such as Pal, for example, who knew closely the team, of course, it's his job as the coach, he said that you all felt pretty satisfied coming out the other end. But was there maybe a feeling that something more could have been done? Or was that just a stepping stone in your career?
Um, nah, I definitely felt like there should have been more, in my opinion. Um, Loads of stuff has happened. Things I can't talk about for legal reasons within the team, which made it a lot harder. But I think we were happy with how we performed due to the circumstances surrounding the team, within the team, and behind the scenes. But looking at it like back, I think everyone would agree is we wanted more from the team and we wanted a better result. And even when we said at the end of split 2 is, damn, if this was end of split 1, I think we could have put up a good fight, but wasn't meant to be.
It's always about the what ifs, but it's what you then do with those which counts for more in my eyes. What did the biggest takeaways end up being from that roster coming into future projects? Because it wasn't exactly like you went straight out of finding success with Wild in the playoffs to landing on your feet back in France. There was a gap in between there as well.
Yeah, it was a big gap. It was a gap where I was like, I'm going back to McDonald's flipping burgers. Yeah, no, it was horrible to be honest after Wild. It wasn't a good time, not a good time to be LFT. especially with such a short season. And then obviously your next season starting in the next year probably. So yeah, no, it was rough ending. Um, didn't have anything going on for a while. Was looking at options to go back to school or go back to working. And then kind of pushed my luck by contacting some teams. I had a trial for a Polaris team. They're doing great right now. But in the end, I contacted Loan because I don't know if you heard the story from Sector 1 back 2022, I think, when me and Robbie were supposed to get signed, but due to financial reasons, let's keep it there, the roster didn't end up
Sure.
coming together. But yeah, Loan made a contact and he wanted to build a project, and yeah, it's been up from there.
I think it's important that we sort of set the foundation here then for what Joblife looks like and how you came into that team. So you've already mentioned Lohan as the coach and that prior experience with Sector 1, because if I'm not mistaken, that was the same team that he won the first ever split stage, whatever you want to call it, of France with. That was against BDS way back then. He then goes off to GTZ with Robbie, and then having this core and this IGL, it comes back to France with Joblife. And Joblife, of course, a team which last time out, so hanging on the coattails of Gentlemates, another content creator org. That was the big derby match that we saw, but it didn't quite live up to what they wanted. They rebuilt the roster, and that's when you guys came in. So what did the call-up look like from your perspective? Was it just you going straight up to Lohan, or was there a little bit more at play behind the scenes there?
It was quite it was quite a while actually. I don't know if Loan approached me or I approached him. I honestly can't remember. But I remember doing some trials. At first, I didn't make the roster even. It's gonna be an entirely different roster in Joblife, one that resembles nothing like the current roster. But once again, due to other reasons, other rosters, like off-season
Sure.
still, it was for Coupe de France. The roster didn't come through. So back in talks with Loan again, and he explained me his vision of how he wants to build the roster, what he plans to do. I agreed, and we're like, at 1 in the morning, we're like, okay, let's do it. Fuck it.
I mean, I have to ask quickly, you said that you ended up trialing with the team a bit and that it was heading in other directions. Was there ever a plan for some of the pieces from last year to get kept? Because I know there were a few different names splintering off in different directions.
Yeah, definitely. There were a few players they wanted to keep. Marchi, who's now in DVM. He was on the roster still back then. I think Soon was also on the roster still back then. Yeah, it was a whole different roster. They want to keep players, but don't know what reasons. But it ended up splitting off from each other.
And then from the core that you had there then with the Dutch players and Yash and Kamik coming in, what was it like having those two names slot into the team, with Yash already being touted as one of the best duelists in Challengers at the time, and Kamik fresh off of experience, you know, being the understudy of the most dominant team that we've seen in Valorant history so far?
I mean, it was a weird experience, I would say, since the roster was looking a lot differently for Coupe de France, since me and Yaz were already in Coupe de France together. And it was a whole different roster back then. Coupe de France was a trial, kind of. It wasn't meant to finalize everything. It was to see, hey, how are we doing with this roster? How is this going? Can we build with this, or are we going to change pieces, whatever? After that Coupe de France run, me and Yas were the only ones staying on the roster. And after that, yeah, the Joblife as we know it then came. And it was a great experience, to be honest. These players are insane. Like the atmosphere around Yas coming out of that year was insane, obviously. Like everyone knew he was a great player. I think he has insane qualities. Is how vocal he is. The understanding of a game he has on a duelist is something I don't see often. I think he'll be comparable to Zekken. Yeah, just a very explosive, smart, vocal player. And then Kamik fresh off the Fnatic train, obviously. Yeah, great guy. Took some meshing to make the team work, but yeah, no, I think everyone brings their own qualities, and I feel like this is a real roster where everyone has strong points and the weak points, and we fill those in nicely.
About that meshing, you can see the development from playday to playday, and we'll get into that in just a little bit in terms of the performances in your run throughout France. But I have to ask how much of the old system was kept when you have an IGL and coach pairing. Are they the ones leading the ideas? What kind of extra bits do you guys sort of bring to the table? Are they more supplementary? How exactly do you go about fleshing out a playbook? Because I've spoken to, several coaches, several IGLs, and they all think about it differently, but the general consensus is that it's a team process, that it's not just solely built from one place.
I think I mean, we might be the weird ones then, but obviously Lohan and Robbie have had lots of experience together. They've been together in Desire, they've been together in GTZ. They have a system that works together. They kept that system that works together, and they kind of put us into that system, I guess. I don't know how to explain it. It's Lohan diff. He has a can't even put it
Lohan
into
Val,
words.
Lohan Ball, whatever you want to call
Yeah,
it, right? Lobbing it up top
like
to the big man. Is there any kind of maybe specific things about it that you could highlight, or is it just certain je ne sais quoi, perhaps, for the French viewers?
I mean, I don't wanna leak his sauce, but
Sure.
I think he's just he has an insane amount of knowledge about the game, but also he's just a nice guy, a friend, but a friend that slaps you in the face if you're being stupid, gives you a hug if you're feeling bad, and then cheers for you if you want to do good. So I feel like he just does everything, and he does everything to not only make us good players, but most importantly, like make us good people and good friends within the team. And I think that what makes us so strong.
I want to talk about team chemistry a bit, so I'm glad that you've brought it up. Where would you say your piece in the puzzle is? Because you already mentioned Yas being quite a vocal player, which isn't too common for duelists at times. I think you get a trend of that, especially the lower down the ladder you go. But I've spoken to people before saying it's important, to have that bond and be a bit more communicative from both the front lines to the back lines. Would you say you're more of like the jokester in the team, the vibe merchant, or do you keep quiet? Are you more composed? Who is picking up what, basically? Like, which heads are we going to be looking at for what?
I mean, to be honest, I think almost the whole team is a vibe merchant.
Okay.
The team is like the vibes are so good in the team. Like anyone could be cracking jokes. I feel like Robbie is the one who keeps us in check together with Mikey. They're the more calmer ones. They'll be like, hey guys, shut the fuck up, let's play. Obviously, they also have their moments of hyping up, getting crazy. But I feel like we have a good managing of our energy levels and everyone like doing their parts of like, hey, you step up. Someone's feeling tired, you pick up their slack, and you're feeling tired, someone else picks your slack. And I feel like everyone just does their part. Everyone's a happy guy. Everyone can be a bit quiet. Everyone can be a bit, hey guys, shut the fuck up. Um, everyone kind of, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of like one in, one out. If there's gaps to be filled, then someone will find the job to do it. Like, you have a
Exactly.
good team chemistry where everyone's on the same page, and it's like a balance of both, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess I kind of see that from Robbie before, from, speaking to him with his previous project and stuff, as sort of adding a little bit more discipline to the team, maybe. If you were going to pick one teammate to share a desert island with, I know this is like the cop-out question. I'm just curious, is it going to be the dynamic Dutch duo? Is it going to be one of your, Polish teammates? Is it going to be like Mike, for example, right? Someone who I don't think we hear very much about at all, because he sort of didn't have the best year on KC, came into this team and has sort of silently been grinding away. Maybe that's the kind of guy you want if you just want to suntan and read a book or something. I don't know. Who would you choose?
I mean, I love Mikey. He's the GOAT, but he's on his vape 24/7, bro. I think 8 hours on the island, his vape's empty. He's going crazy, bro. He's gonna eat me. I don't think that's the option, man.
Okay.
Honestly, Kamek needs to play his also in his aim trainers, bro. He'll be on the island for like 2 hours. He's like, a new Wu-Ting is releasing today. I need to buy it. I can't be here. I don't think that's the vibe either.
Okay.
I think it will have to be between Robbie and Yaz, and I would just go with Robbie purely because of his leadership.
Okay.
He's a fit guy. He's a strong guy. You know, I could rely on him.
So you're going to
So
be on his shoulders getting coconuts then, or is it the other
exactly,
way
he's
around?
gonna be lifting me up. You know, getting
Sure.
them coconuts. He's gonna be getting me the fish. I'll cook his fish. You know, he's gonna be going out there and making his own spear and getting them fish. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, that's him.
Well, look, if I'm lucky enough to cover Joblife in any tournament here upcoming, wherever that may be, I'll cook his fish is the best sentiment that I can take to sort of the trust that you have with your IGL. But it is good to see. To speak about the level in France this year and looking onwards, right, at competition, first it's important to be retrospective and have a look back because there were some big names coming into France this year. I'll say it as it is. You had some that ended up getting retained, like Mandatory, for example, and we'll get onto that in a bit, with Soon obviously trading over, and DVM, which ended up being nowhere near the level that people thought. You know, familiar names, Kellogg's, Jusu, especially in the second tier, and Mark Tolino as well from the old roster. What was it like playing against them initially, and then in terms of who you thought you were going to be competing against in the run-up, how did that change as the season went on?
I mean, played last year. Competition has been good in France, always has been. It's been a competitive region and I think almost every game. So obviously knowing that, it's just hey, I come here to play, and I'll see who I'll play against. They're gonna be big boys here. It's a big boy region, so we'll see. But yeah, like Mandatory has been around for a while, obviously. Really good players on that roster. Obviously last year we had Gentlemates who have been promoted. And yeah, DVM, I don't know much the players personally. I don't know internal things there. Yeah, they had a really stacked roster. We lost our opening match to them. And we expected to play them also towards the playoffs. But I think Chroma was quite surprising to be in the playoffs. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Akroma definitely had some shooters on their side of things as well, right? A couple of trades with other teams in France, which is the case. It seems as if there's a very deep talent pool there. And even with DVM, right, I think it would be rude not to mention the fact that there was some tempers which flared there. How does that affect you as a player from the fan perspective? And that can be both the good and the bad, because I know that in France they are certainly a passionate bunch.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, France is definitely a passionate bunch. The good and the bad, obviously. Um, obviously, a few bad apples don't. Um, how
Don't
do you
make the
say
bunch,
it?
right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. So we can't obviously say, hey, all of them, are super toxic. But yeah, I had my fair share of unpleasant interactions with some fans in France. Um,
I
I
gotta
mean,
ask, like, quickly though, what is it like being on the other side of that? Because people will speak about this a lot. Oh, you get hate online, and people always say, "I brush it off." How do you personally bounce back from something like that? I suppose. What's the best way to do it? Is it within the team environment that you've all got each other's back? Is that why that family environment is so necessary, or how would you
I
approach
mean,
it?
I think it's important to distance yourself from it, obviously.
Hmm.
Like I'm Magic, but I'm Calvin first. Like
Sure.
I just turn off my phone. I'm not Magic anymore then. Um, so yeah, just distance yourself from it. Back then I was at boot camp, alone at boot camp because my internet wasn't working at home. So obviously I had people from Joblife. I had the streamers like Vati and Kara who were there. I had Tommy himself, obviously. Everyone was there, so obviously that's nice being with people. And the team supportive, like it's part of it. So you just gotta kind of just ignore it. It's hard sometimes, um, but yeah, it's just you gotta brush it off, kind of ignore it, and it part of it. Some days you have people giving you death threats, and then the next day some people are cheering for you. That's kind of esports in a nutshell.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess part of the job, I would say, is what it is.
Hmm. It's never going to be the same people, or at least you'd hope not, right? Because you guys did receive a positive reception. You first went out to boot camp when you signed, you filmed content, people such as Tommy would have been there as well. What's the overall reception sort of been like from the Joblife side of things, and how has that impacted you as a player on the positive side when you are getting wins? Does it elevate it that step further, or is it not something you think about too much because the next game is more important?
I think I think it does have a big part to play. I think even just in the negotiations or just talking to Joblife, like the staff, Tommy behind the scenes, Samuel and Zelski, they're just great people. They're honest people. They're nice people. Just like talking to them. You don't have to talk about Joblife or Valorant. You could just have a chat with them about whatever. Um, and then obviously meeting them at boot camp was super nice. And I feel like it's the same thing that happens in the team. You become friends, like a family, you know? It's like you want to win for yourself, you want to win for your team, but you want to win for the name also. And you know, you wanna win for everyone basically, you know?
Yeah.
It's yeah, you wanna make them happy also. And I feel like they've been so helpful, so kind to us, is you want to return the favor.
I mean, yeah, the weight of the badge is certainly something, right? The jersey on your back, but you managed to pull it off in the first split. You won the title against Mandatory, like we spoke about. Soon made his move over there. They kept 4 of those players, which we saw in play-ins last time around, the second best team in France as it stood. And in many ways, it's the old versus the new, because there are some fresh faces, maybe, you know, a couple of names like Robbie, for example, and yourself, who've done their fair share in challenges in this circuit. But what was it that you'd say that gave you the edge in this match? Was it just pure preparation? Was it a clash of styles, or you know, the product of the work that you'd been putting in over however many months it was up until that point?
I think I think product of the work we put in. We've been grinding, we've been putting a lot of effort. Everyone has been doing everything they can to win. Everyone's super focused on it. So I think they're amazing players. They put up a hell of a game. It was tense, and the competition is really good. But yeah, we did our work. We did our prep. We worked our asses off,
Mm.
and yeah, I think that's how we won. I feel like that's how we won.
I mean, like, how does it feel as a player as well to be one of those names that has been grinding your ass off, that has been, you know, through 4 different regions and come out the other side and say, I am the best in what many would consider to be the strongest region so far? Do you get that moment to really celebrate something like this, or do you then immediately go, hang on a minute, there's 7, you know, other teams in this league. We've got a second split coming up, and there's the very real possibility that we may not even make the big event that counts for that much more.
Yeah, I feel like the win was nice. Obviously, it was a nice feeling finally winning a VCL. Obviously, um, but yeah, the feeling of hey, we did it, we made it, or we're the best. Didn't really come up that much since, like you mentioned, obviously there's still a split 2, and it's Ascension what matters. You can win twice in your split, and you can get knocked out of Ascension immediately, and then that's that, you know. So yeah, eyes on the prize. Ascension, obviously, that's the goal. Winning is nice. It feels nice. It's a good confidence boost. But yeah, we're just focused on still doing our best, giving it all, and doing the best we can in Ascension.
Hmm.
If we make it, obviously, which I
True.
hope we will. That's not. Wait, I mean, not real quick.
Of course. I mean, would you say it then feels vindicating for the work that you've put in so far, that you have got the success that you've now received, at least to a certain extent?
I mean, it's definitely nice. It's especially if you've played the game for a while, you know, been to a few regions and never achieved the success you want to achieve, like winning a split. It's nice to have a title under your belt to say, a one where you can say, hey, like we won in one of the most competitive regions in the MEA. Um, yeah, it feels good. It's nice. It's I guess for some players also a weight of their shoulders. From MAGiK, for example, not coming off of the best year. A lot of doubters doubting him. Um, and him just showing it like, fuck off, I can do it. I'll
Yeah.
prove to you I can do it. Um, and then the same with Kamek, to be honest. The guy's incredible. I think the guy is one of the most, before we went to the scene, one of the most underrated players. everyone was like, "Oh, Waterboy for Fnatic," and then he drops plus 30, plus 30, plus 30. So it's I think for them it must also be a really great feeling to
Sure.
shut them up.
Weight off the shoulders, right? And I think the question on my mind then is, what do you think it's going to take to repeat that success? Will it be more of what you've already done, or can you see the environment shifting a little bit as we head into the second split here in terms of teams, what their own objectives are going to be, and if you think it's going to be the same competition, or are there any names that maybe we overlooked that should be making a playoff push this time?
I think this is where Loan comes to play a lot. I think Loan is really good at managing our mental health and our well-being. You know, winning the split and saying, guys, have some vacation. Don't think about the game. Don't touch the game. Touch some grass. Get out of your houses, bro. Get away from the PC. And just repeating it, I guess, yeah. Just repeating the same process of putting in time, putting in effort. You know, we won last split, but you're only as good as your last game, you know. So coming into the next game, whatever happens then, you know, it's always an ever-evolving game, an ever-evolving competition. I think there's like 2 months or 1.5 months between the splits, between end and start. A lot can happen in those 1.5 months. So it's fresh mind. Yeah, we won, but this is a whole new split, a whole new season, new competition, new teams, new names in the scene. Can't leak, but it's going to be some good competition in the scene.
Okay.
So yeah, we just gotta keep going. Don't get how do you say it?
Cocky?
Reluctant is the word.
Something
Cocky,
like
yeah.
that. Complacent, perhaps.
Complacent is the word. Yeah, exactly. That's the word.
Okay. Well, I mean, you already mentioned a little bit Ascension, and why not? We'll tempt fate here a little bit. A player to come out of your past, out of the woodwork, someone that you already know well, has also won an EMEA title in Challengers, and I think you may know who I'm talking about here.
Now I'm having a
You
big
played
error.
with him in
Oh yeah,
France
Hype.
before.
Yeah, obviously. Hype.
Apex.
I was loading.
That could be a main competitor for you.
Yep.
In terms of other names that could be cropping up, maybe Maus, who had a flawless run so far, coming into upper bracket. Maybe I'm tempting fate. This interview might come out after they've bottled it. Anything else, that, you know, anyone that you're thinking about at this point in time? Or can you really not jump that many steps ahead? Or actually, no, screw it. You have to. Pick one. I'm not going to just say like, oh, of course, we will get playoffs. Hit me.
Honestly, I've been so confused. The Ascent roster, I love so many people on that roster. I love Alive, I love BaddyG. I have coming into this year, I was like, you know, I'm gonna make Ascension. I want to play against BaddyG. You know, gonna fist bump BaddyG. I love that guy. He's such a funny guy. Obviously, them not even I think making the. It was a weird system in East, but I don't think they made a certain playoffs.
They made the playoff play-in.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, they did make full playoffs, I'm pretty sure, but they ended up getting knocked out. So something like that.
Yeah, there was like a play-ins in the playoff or something.
Yeah,
it was a weird system, but yeah, I thought they would be a good competitor. But I think, yeah, jumping the gun to Ascension if you make it there. I think, obviously Apex is going to be definitely up there. The big boys to compete with. About other regions, KPI, I guess I would say. But any other regions, out KPI will be definitely a strong competitor. Obviously, Sayonara being there now. Him rumored to be our 6th. Amazing guy, super talented. So yeah, happy to see him have success in their region. And I'm pretty sure they'll be Ascension. I'll be confused if they're not.
True. I mean, what can you say about Sayonara then, if you have any experience playing with him, or was that rumor just completely made up BS?
Allegedly, my experience with him, I think this is going to be. I'm gonna make a statement. Some people might call me stupid. Some people might praise me.
Because this guy's come out of nowhere, right?
But
for a lot of people,
yeah,
like they just don't know about him. But
they'll know about him. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be. It's our EU tens. I'm pretty sure this guy is gonna come in. He's gonna destroy. The second he hits 18 or like Wood or whatever, before 18 even, he's gonna get signed to VCT and he's gonna shake things up, to be sure. Sayonara will be a name a lot of people will know in the upcoming years. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that we managed to get some kind of weatherman act from you, that we've predicted something that's going to happen. It's a few of the same old names, right? We're just sat here twiddling our thumbs waiting for what's going to happen. Until then, I can only ask you what's next. I know you stream a lot of ranked, and you've got, you know, the Joblife Ultras in there with you as well. What can we expect in the time now between here, Split 2 start, and, you know, beyond?
I mean, some ranked from me, some Ozu streams from MAGiK.
Okay.
Just you know, I guess Mike is a bit silent on social media, but the rest of us are a bit of a trolls. So I guess just some trolling, just some ranked, maybe maybe a little bit of some leaks because we're not as smart as sometimes. So who knows? And the ultras are very they're very detective style. Honestly, before even joining this team, back in Coupe de France, every day screenshots of scrims of people. You had to play on Alts account, whatever. So yeah, I'm sure we'll see some of that again.
Okay. Sounds good, man. I appreciate you for stopping by, and best of luck going into Split 2.
Thank you.